Let's get rolling here. So we have a really special treat today. We've got Jan Stewart from one of our favorite chains in the Midwest, Condado. Really known for tacos, tequila, margaritas. I have that right, Jan?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I have to be honest here. I actually know that because I picked up a couple for lunch today. So I went and got a couple margaritas. I got my box of food here. And it was a great experience. Ordered online, and it was fantastic. And we're going to talk a little bit about what you guys have been doing with ghost kitchens and maybe some of your delivery stuff here in a little bit. But I thought we'd start out. Maybe you just give us the download a little bit about Condado and a little bit about yourself, and then we'll just kind of see where this thing goes and have a great chat. And by the way, we've got the lovely Samantha Webster with us, and we've got Drew, who's on our team at Zink, who has really worked a lot with you guys over the years in some of the equipment selection and some of that. So with that being said, Jan, why don't you take it away and tell us a little bit about Condado and yourself?
Yeah, great. Condado started 2014, one location here in Columbus, Ohio, the Short North location. About 8 months into the birth of that restaurant, Joe Kahn is the founder of Condado. Yeah, he started that in November of 2014, and then about 8 months later, they reached out to me, Johnny Zila, our current COO. Him and I had a work history, and so when he landed the job there at Condado, he actually started as a bartender. Wasn't looking for management at that time, but Joe Kahn, talked him into it. And then at that time, he reached out to me, and I came and checked out the operation. And 6 months later, we opened Condado #2 in Columbus, downtown. About a year later, we opened Pittsburgh. And then we really started ramping up the units after about year 3. And then, it's been 50% increases each year, I think, since. And today we're at 24 units. We got 5 more coming this year. And then, just keep it going. We plan to do 12 next year and hopes for 15 in 2023.
I mean, I think that's remarkable. The fact that you guys have had your foot on the gas here, considering what's been going on in the hospitality industry. It's no secret the last 12 months have been a little crazy. And you guys have opened, what, 7 locations during the pandemic?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it was got rocky for us for about 2 weeks, just trying to feel exactly what was going on. We were very fortunate to have the year prior, we spent the entire year focusing on packaging. Proprietary packaging, working with manufacturers. So we were so lucky to have all that sealed when we went into this thing. And then, we just pivoted, and fortunately we saw a lot of success. I don't know if we want to get too much into how we did that. I mean, with the dining rooms being closed, we were able to. So first, I guess I should take a step back. We do operate out of a commissary kitchen. So a lot of the food prep is done in a centralized kitchen. So we were actually able, part of our concept and how we're able to grow so quickly is, there's not a huge build out in our restaurants, especially in the back of the house with equipment and hoods and things like that. So we were actually able to turn our dining rooms into kitchens. So we were able to take the line that was in the back and duplicate it 2, 3, 4 times, depending on the size of the restaurant, and the electrical that we had, to be able to keep up with the demand that was coming in. I think a lot of people, had the most challenges, if they were still able to be open, was being able to keep up with the third party and the experience of that customer, and so we're already known for quick service, in and out kind of thing. And we just had to put that in the same delivery, right? Okay, how quick can we get it out of our kitchens with the volumes,
Right.
Because there were some weeks where year over year, alcohol sales went down, but we saw that food sales were up, and even taking place of that loss in alcohol revenue. So, it was just a matter, I think, of keeping up with the guest experience, and that enabled them to understand, hey, we know that we can order Condado, we can get it quick, we can get it easy, we're not in line for hours on end. With the online ordering, we worked with a lot of third-party companies, but we also were right in the middle of rolling out our own online ordering. So we were able to order through, our own website at that point and do pickups. And, we, not to get all over the place, but I mean, we tried to retain every employee that we could. We started our own delivery service,
Wow.
with our own employees. We did, COVID specialists, people trying to, just finding little jobs around that would keep the employee. We were so lucky too that the customer side, they were very generous to the restaurant industry. They were tipping very well, so we were able to retain people, not just to keep the job, but they were actually still making the same amount of money.
Right.
Encouraging them. We looked at so many different things. We were just we felt, and to us it was our duty to stay open to try to feed people.
I think that is such a cool thing about this industry, and what you did for not only your community but the people that you employ. It's a family. I mean, that's the one thing about the hospitality industry. When you're used to serving people and trying to take care of them on anniversaries and dinners and holidays and birthdays, whatever it may be, people celebrate with a great meal. And I think it says a lot about that kind of servant spirit that our industry has. And it's really cool to hear how you guys applied that not only to your community, but to your people, which is awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, and that was definitely at the front, of our vision on how we were going, just to stay open. I mean, we kicked around being a grocery delivery operation for a while. I mean, there was just so many things that we had, in the fire on what we were going to do next to try to keep the momentum, and just keep people employed and keep people, not hungry. So.
And it worked out well. I mean,
yeah, it did. Yeah, I mean, we introduced the Bud Box, different specials that we could provide people on third party that we weren't exactly able to do inside the restaurant. Different bundles together. As soon as we were able to, source different packaging for the drinks, just to make it as convenient again for that customer as possible. The margarita bottle came. The alcohol sales came. So Bud Box on the Rocks was then released. So yeah, we were just had a great team. Here everybody had the momentum of we can do it, as opposed to the kind of the bow out and go, this is going to be tough, ride it out. Our operations team is fantastic, and it's definitely a group effort everywhere, marketing and all that, and even down to construction. There was lots of delays in construction. That was kind of slowing us up. That was a little bit out of our control. But our team there again, pushing forward and working and just overcoming those obstacles, and that can-do attitude. So
yeah. So I think that's an interesting point. We talk so much about modifying your business to keep up with the demand. I think that's a lot of things that maybe some of the legacy brands that they can't pivot as quickly as maybe you guys could. And it sounds like you had yourself set up with the work that you did on packaging and being able to change the dining rooms. But there's all these things that were unrelated that you can't control, like you said, construction. We're in the equipment business. What happens when you have someone get sick in your factory and all the lines have to shut down? This stuff isn't just sitting there ready to be shipped out, and delivery men and truckers and all these things. It was just kind of this ripple effect, and I think it says a lot to the American spirit how we've powered through this thing, and the desire to try to live as normal a life as possible. And I think there's been some silver linings, right? So, like, what are we doing today? We are talking here. The three of you are in Columbus. I'm assuming, Jan, you're in the Columbus area. Maybe not. I'm in Cincinnati. We're talking, on a Teams meeting here, and it doesn't feel artificial. I feel like, we build a relationship, not quite as well as you do in person, but it's not like a phone call. I think technology has advanced us very quickly in a short amount of time. This is just one small example, but I think ghost kitchens is another example, right? You had been doing the delivery. You said you had figured out the packaging, and that was one of the questions I had for you with this, with this surge of people ordering food, and maybe they don't get it for 15 or 20 or 30 minutes. It's not the same experience that you can control from start to end when they're in your dining rooms. So when that food hits the table there, that it's displayed the way you want, it's plated properly, it's hot, or it's got enough ice, whatever it may be. What have you guys done, or were there any considerations in order to transition to this more of a delivery model?
Yeah, we did cut out a few menu items that we knew wouldn't travel well. We didn't want to put that responsibility on the guest to try to understand what's going to travel well. So we were really pushing our suggestion tacos, which they're usually, most of them are double-decker shells, so they hold up a little bit more on the travel. It's not just a hard shell where it can get soggy in the sauce. We were doing everything with sauce on side. That was a little bit different than we did before. Again, just trying to, preserve that customer end on convenience on their end and that experience. We also, we took away a few menu items, because we didn't take away the build your own, but we really marketed toward a different way of ordering.
Which I love, by the way. Don't make me make decisions. I just want to point. Give me that one. It looks awesome. Give me 3 of those.
Yeah, right. But and then it really, we had already been toying around with the idea of a ghost kitchen or food trucks or anything like that, because we had just started to dip our toes into the catering world, and in our restaurants became so busy keeping up that we were like, man, like, are we going to even be able to produce for the catering and things like that? Particularly our Dublin location here in Columbus, Ohio. It was one of our smallest locations. It's just around 3,000 square feet, I think it is. And it just gets really tight in there. And we saw them year over year doing, 20-30% more in sales year over year on their anniversary year. Wow. Right? So they opened March of 19, and then COVID hit March of 20. Well, that's kind of the example, like the loss of alcohol sales we had. We saw that, but then we were still doing higher sales year over year in all food, and they just couldn't keep up, and we're like, man, there's lines backed up, and we're like, okay, we don't know how long this is going to last. We don't, there's an opportunity here next door in Powell. Okay, we found a space, and we were like, okay, we can do the third party relief off of the restaurant here, because even before COVID, the third party pressure was building. Mm-hmm. It's not so much that they couldn't keep up with it, but what is the guest experience inside of the restaurant when they, you're sitting at the bar, you're trying to enjoy your meal, and you have DoorDashers and Uber Eats and, all these people coming in and grabbing the bartender and demanding their food and where is it, and pick up over here, and then the hostess is distracted, or, there's just a lot of, mess going on in there that's already taking away, not from, just our ability, but the consumer, the customer's like, man, like, I'm just getting bombarded by these people, coming up to the bar next to my seat. And so, we had already started to try to plan around that experience inside, and how do we accommodate that and move that and kind of, funnel it, if you will. So the spot came available. You guys nabbed that, and obviously you had to go through a bit of a design phase. Did you utilize different equipment? Were you able
to cook in a larger scale than maybe you could in your stores typically? And I know you said that you do some stuff already off premise, but how was the design different, or what did that research phase look like and the design phase?
I mean, it was quick. It was quick. You know, so there wasn't a lot of capital involved in order to turn the space around. We didn't need a ton of room. The only kind of, you know, we made sure to have 2 lines in there. It was a little bit, the setup was a little bit tighter, just because, you know, the lack of need for certain items. You know, a lot of the plateware goes away, a lot of some of the paper goes away, and things like that. So we were able to, you know, maneuver that space around, kind of make the walk-in real close to where the line is. So, you know, it's easy access there. And then we kind of worked with, you know, the flow of traffic and how people were, you know, because this is our first pickup window. So as a customer can go, you know, to the window, grab their order and leave, as opposed to going in and sitting down and filling out something. So there was a little bit of design and thought behind how that would look. We did have a little hiccup because and maybe this will be helpful for other people out there. I might just be in Powell, but we planned on selling alcohol at the to-go kitchen. We call it ghost kitchen. It kind of stuck that way, and by no means is it a ghost kitchen. Okay, it doesn't move. It doesn't go away. It doesn't appear anywhere else. So it's a carry-out kitchen, if you will. So that's kind of, you know, a kind of tongue-in-cheek that I always like to mention. But
Sam says the only way you can build a ghost kitchen is in Malibu. I don't know why she says that, but I think it's a ghost reference. You can see her giggling over there. It's her favorite joke.
But yeah, the liquor license, it requires you to have a bathroom for the public, at least one bathroom for the public. Okay. Even though we don't have any dining inside that building and it's all a pickup design, that's something we missed. And so we did miss the opportunity there to sell alcohol out of that space.
Got it.
Yeah.
So that location is not only feeding your delivery services, but also the general population, public can order and drive through and pick up from that location as well?
Right. So yeah, anybody who wants to drive through, pick up, all of that goes through there. Weekends, especially Thursday through Sunday, we shut off third-party delivery at our restaurant, and we funnel it all into the Powell area, which is just a couple miles up the road. So sure, most of those folks aren't too concerned about it. And a lot of times they like it because they're not in the way of anybody, you know, who is dining with us now.
Right.
They can just go there, grab it, and come out. But we also support our catering department in the Columbus market out of that kitchen. So, you know, that was another bonus of when we were deciding to design and set this up is, okay, even if it doesn't work well for us on the foot traffic per se, you know, there's still a value in this kitchen in our market that, you know, our most built out market, Columbus, Ohio, you know, 6 units here and looking at a couple more that could, hey, this area could still support the entire Columbus market in catering and not put that pressure on the restaurants.
So as you guys continue to grow, you said you've got another 5 or so stores this year, you've got 10 to 12 next year, and kind of just put down from there. Do you think this will be a strategy that you employ in other markets? And I've got a secondary question as well. I've talked to some chains that believe that there's kind of 2 ways to do this. You build the market and then you support it with the kitchen, or maybe a lower cost way to build the market is put the kitchen in, start those delivery services, and then start to build the market around it. So I'm just curious where you fall in on that and how that may affect your strategy in the future.
Yeah. So I guess 2 parts to that, I guess. Both. We thought both. We're like, okay, you know, Powell's going to be the kind of the test kitchen. Okay, hey, it's in our home market, our most built out market. Let's give it some time, see how it performs, and then okay, let's go ahead, drop this in another built-out market, and to help support them with the catering. And so to your point, yes, on that kind of looks like our strategy going forward. But at the same time, we're looking at food trucks as well, or a real ghost kitchen that could actually be portable, that we would say, hey, go down to a new market, test it out. Or if we know we're going to be in Nashville this year, we're going to be in Charlotte the year after, it'd be great to send a food truck down there during the construction, feed the construction workers, feed, just people coming around asking questions. Hey, what is this? Hey, not necessarily a cash exchange, but more of a marketing type thing. And we're just handing out food and tacos and getting the name and the brand out there. So kind of both on that.
Okay. So, I think it's funny. There's all these terms thrown around, ghost kitchen, black site, you hear, to-go kitchen, and they all have kind of morphed together. And so it is interesting to hear how different people define these. And I think, some are very, very valid. There's some spots are putting in, I'll call it a black site, no branding, no nothing. It's just, it could be in a strip center somewhere, and the only people that know about it are the delivery drivers that are coming to pick up. And then, what you've done with the carryout is pretty cool. And now the food truck will be a whole other serious branding and marketing piece as you are going into new markets. So that's awesome. Let me see. I'm trying to look at my list of questions here. We've hit a lot of them. I guess, kind of to bring this thing to a close. I mean, was there any unexpected successes? You told us about the challenge that you faced with some of the zoning and the cocktails. Any other just unexpected successes that you're taking out of this that you guys have learned along the way?
Yeah, oh, for sure. We compliment first. I mean, first we accomplished a few things. We really compliment, again, the team that we've had through all of this. We thank them week after week, and we're doing as much as we can to give back to them, to for sticking with us, sticking through it, going through the fire. It was really amazing cultural piece that we were able to really kind of see and wrap our arms around and be like, this is our culture. It's not just something we keep saying, but we actually have that proof in the pudding. So we celebrate that often. The other part that operationally that we saw an unexpected success in was the way we order. If you're familiar with our restaurants, it's mostly a BYO, build your own concept, and people are filling out a chit back before COVID. Well, this has always been on my list since I started with Condado, is to eliminate the chit, not the chit experience, but every chit that a customer fills out goes into your kitchen. So that means everybody's hands are in your kitchen.
Right.
And so, we were already doing bump screens and KDS screens and starting to get there. And it kind of really just fast tracked the elimination of, that kind of risk that we had already been, experiencing and all that. So, IT was huge, and, they put their foot to the gas pedal on that and made it all, digital, touch free, bump screens and things like that, it really helped our business.
Yeah, I ordered online today, did store pickup, and it was seamless. Went on, it probably took me 5 minutes to figure out. Most of it was trying to decide which one of the margaritas I wanted and which additions I wanted. So I got two. They told me I wasn't allowed to drink these until a little later. So you're getting the best side of me here. I guess that would have loosened me up a little too much maybe. But it was seamless. Went up to your store, pulled in, called the number. Within 2 minutes, someone had brought my order out. It traveled well. I could tell you, like you said, you worked on your packaging. I got the box, and I also got a bowl, which was nice because it was a nice sturdy bowl that can withstand a reheating if I want to, which is great. So yeah, I think this whole thing, like you said, you were already going down this road, but the circumstances we've been under in the last year have really just accelerated the process. And to me, that's going to be one of the major silver linings for our industry, is how we've become more efficient. And, how can you capture new sales when someone doesn't want to leave their house, right? I mean, how many times like, man, I just don't feel like going out. That barrier is gone now because everybody has been forced or transitioned to at least trying this experience at least a couple times. So I think that's a real silver lining for our industry.
Hey, Patrick, I have a question for Jan. Jan, thanks for doing this again. And I think there's a lot of people out there that will really enjoy hearing how you guys have done things, and your success and growth is definitely deserved based on the passion that you guys have put back into this industry. And I think you see that with the customers coming in, and you mentioned people tipping extra because I think they believe in the culture that you've talked so passionately about, that we just see that. But the question, it's kind of a two-part question. Ghost kitchens or black kitchens or whatever, they're new. And you know, there's a lot of people going after them. It's a hot buzzword right now. You know, one of the things we always go to is, what's the next version? What's the next side of that? Will it continue to grow? Do you, if you put on your fortune teller hat, would you see it, you know, changing gears a little bit and shifting the business model anymore? Or do you think it's going to kind of stay the way that it is with the ghost kitchen as you guys have it set up? Or do you have more vision out of it, like a next level to it? Would be one. And then I'm sure if everybody knew this, it would be great. But what do you guys think diners are going to be looking for and looking like in about 12 months from now? Do you think they're going to stick with this to-go model, or do you think they're going to, the minute they can, flood back into the restaurants just like they were, even maybe more because they miss it so much? So,
yeah, thanks, Drew. I appreciate that, and you're absolutely welcome. It was my pleasure to be on here. But so the ghost kitchen, I would say, you know, there is a lot of talk on what that looks like, and I think, like you said, if you knew the answer, you'd be in a really good spot. I think that the third-party delivery and the life of the ghost kitchen has its hardest months ahead of it. I think that people are really tired, fatigued with to-go and eating lukewarm. And I think that's going to, I think it's going to be bonkers for a while in restaurants. I don't see our vision, if the ghost kitchen lost all of its third-party deliveries, would it be okay? You know, what do we, yeah, and we think yes, right? We, again, with the supporting of the catering and how we're going to push that, and, you know, just the normal flow, the population of PAL is enough to help those, you know, that foot traffic. And the idea of the ghost kitchen being portable, I think yes. I think that they'll still, it's kind of like the food truck thing. I think there's convenience there, and I think there's less you know, capital involved with that and new market testing. So I don't know if it's as lucrative as it has been. But again, I think the challenges are going to be restaurant, you know, obviously we see where the workforce is right now, and with the industry coming back right now. Yeah, and there's multiple folds there, you know, with manufacturing and supply chain having a tough time keeping up with reopening like the industry is. It's coming back so quick, they're having a hard time, right? Well, so is the third party. The radiuses are getting smaller, the times are getting longer, the fees are getting heavier, and everybody's been doing this already for 16 months or 14 months now, and the consumer, I think, is just tired of paying that price. We're seeing a big increase on to-go pickup as opposed to to-go third-party delivery. You know, where people are willing to come to the restaurant itself and pick the food up, and so that's what I see. And then I think that the challenge on the restaurant side is that experience. How are they going to be able to keep up to the gangbusters of people that are about to come to their restaurants, whether they're first time, second time, or whatever, because everybody is going to be so busy it's about us, the operators, delivering that experience, being ready for that business again, to not turn away your first new customer or you know, one of your repeat customers, and they're like, man, I can't go back here because it takes forever. The service is bad. You know, they don't have the staff. We can't sit inside if the outside's open or whatever that, you know, that staffing challenge is. So I think it'll go both ways. The people who do it well, I think they're going to get new customers, and if they wow them, I think they're going to get new customers, and I think that, you know, the business is going to stay. But I think that, you know, again, if that customer isn't going to get that experience, that's really going to be a challenge, you know, down the road for the recovery part for the restaurant.
You mentioned a couple of times the customer experience and how they're probably frustrated, and I think we all can agree to that. Like, you get a delivery, it's not what you would get in the restaurant, but you've just been okay with it because you knew of the times. Do you think that the customer is going to have different expectations than they had 16 months ago when they sit down now?
Now, Drew, are you talking about when they receive different expectations of the delivered product or in store? I'm curious.
They come in store the next time. I wonder if their expectations of an experience have changed from what they were 16 months ago, based on what they've had to deal with this last 16 months.
Yeah, in general, I think the challenge is we're not through it yet. I think different customers expect a restaurant to have different levels of reaction, especially based on where you're at in the region. You know, certain states had different restrictions and they came off of those restrictions, but then certain municipalities inside of those cities did different things. Indiana with Indianapolis is a great, you know, example where, you know, Indiana wasn't honoring some things, but Indianapolis was, especially with March Madness and people coming in. There was a lot of mixed messages and what is expected of the restaurant. So, you know, that I think is going to be a challenge. But as far as pure, you know, the food experience and the drink experience, and, you know, hopefully the customer the exchange experience, I think that they're just looking for that interaction. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're looking for something more than what they had prior, at least in our experience, because that was such a focus for us. But they're definitely, I would say, you know, with what I said before with volumes and how quickly you're able to serve the customer, it might be a little less patient, I guess, with long waits and or, you know, semi-warm food, because, you know, they're just dying to go in and have a hot meal. And why the heck am I here for a hot meal when I could have got this at home, it's cold, or something along those lines.
Yeah, and I Drew, I thought you were going a different direction, because I look at, like, and you even said it, Jan, people, you know, have become a little bit more accepting of lukewarm, right? It's being delivered. We know it. We know it's not coming right out of the kitchen. There's a certain tolerance that you get in the food quality that maybe is a little different than in store when you're in the restaurant. So what I wonder, it's kind of like, you know, the phone on camera on my phone at one point stunk, and it was okay because it was in my pocket. Well, now technology is advanced. It better be the best camera I have, as good as any high-tech camera. So what I wonder is, as this delivery continues to go, are customers gonna expect advancements in the quality of food delivered and be a little less tolerant?
Yeah. I mean, I think that I think the people who have experienced the most challenges, you know, don't have the packaging figured out, or you know, those things, you know, that portability piece. I know that I've ordered places and I'm like, man, like, I love this place, but I just had a terrible experience with the packaging and the to-go. So yes, I do think that there is a little bit higher expectation on what that looks like moving forward. But it's hard for me to say because I understand the supply chain and how the price on packaging and paper and plastic is just skyrocketing, and the challenges behind availability on that packaging. I know a lot of our manufacturers, again, are not taking on new lines. You know, you have some mammoth companies out there, paper and plastic companies, that are saying we cannot take on any new customers and we're not going to take on any new additional lines. You know, yeah, you can change, you can replace, you know, this product with this product on the line, but you can't add another product at this point. So, you know, I hope that that can be communicated well to the customers, and there can be, you know, a little bit of a give there, and understanding that, you know, it's not just the restaurants trying to recoup dollars on say prior loss or anything like that. It's more of, you know, the supply chain, the back end's catching up to us, you know, again.
Yeah, and we're not out of that. It's
Right.
just happening, right? As everybody is starting to open back up, you can't just bring a factory, whether it's a packaging plant or a manufacturer of walk-in coolers or ranges or whatever it may be for our world. You can't shut the place down and then just turn it back on like a light switch. You know, there's, and I'm sure for some, you said you were able to hang on to many of your employees, but a lot of restaurants have been challenged with, they're ready to go. They want to open back up. They cannot find employees.
Yeah.
And I think we could probably spend another hour digging into all of these things with supply chain and challenges and the really cool ways that people have been able to overcome them, like what you guys have. And I hope that in restaurant experience comes back so people can see that gigantic mural you have in all your stores, which is awesome. By the way, have you ever painted one of those? Be honest with me.
No, I haven't.
Because I did a little Facebook stalking of you before I came on here, and I saw that you're a little bit of an artist.
Yeah. I am. There was a couple of things I got to mess around with the artist, but I never got to put on anything. And I'll keep my creativity in the kitchen and let them keep theirs in the dining room. So.
Well, that's awesome. Well, guys, I want to thank you, Jan, so much for your time, and just congratulate you and the entire team over Condado for the success and the really bright future that you guys have outlined. It's really cool. We're glad to be a partner of yours, and even more importantly, glad that you have locations really close to all of us. So for anybody that's listening outside of the Midwest, be on the lookout for a location coming your way soon for Condado. And right now, new locations heading, Nashville and Lexington, you said, or some new markets?
Yep, Nashville, Lexington. We just opened the Toledo market. Is doing really well for us. We have 2 more in Indianapolis in the Noblesville and Carmel area. We're looking for a couple more in Cleveland in the Menor, Akron area. And then, in 2022, we got Charlotte, a couple in Charlotte, North Carolina, that we're looking to do. A couple of more additions in Pittsburgh. And really start to build out some of those the current markets, and so
if you're in those areas, be on the lookout. We appreciate your time today, Jan. Thank you so much. Drew, Samantha, any closing words?
No, Jan, just again, all the continued success to you and the team, and anything that we can do to be that resource for you. I think don't hesitate to reach out, and we'll be there.
Guys, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.